Cricket Rockstar Nation, it's Tuesday, 3rd February 2026. Welcome to the Cricket Rockstar Show with yours truly, Tyrell Ordine, aka the Cricket Rockstar. We have a whole bunch of cricket to talk about on today's show, so without further ado, let's get on with it. So, the first item up for bid, or should I say, the first topic we'll be discussing is the recent India versus New Zealand T20 series. And first of all, before I go any further, lately I've been a lot busy with other stuff, so I wasn't able to do any YouTube videos or any live stream. And did you know the last time I actually did a live stream was during last year's CPL during the playoffs? And I never get much time to chat with you guys live, something that I really want to do more now as the T20 World Cup pulls off on Saturday. So let's just look back at the recent India versus New Zealand series. I wanted to discuss South Africa, West Indies, but I'm going to save it for the next show. So recently, India demolished New Zealand 4 matches to 1 in the recently concluded T20 series, which saw a 6-hitting spectacle alongside so much fast-paced run chase from the Indians in games 2 and 3, where they chased down 200 plus in less than 15 overs and 155 in just 10 overs. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. In that series only, India crossed 200 on 3 occasions. I'm not sure if it's 3 or 4 occasions, so somebody correct me if I'm not right or wrong. But one of the questions that has to be asked is, and it's something that has been on my mind for the last couple of days, are we seeing too much video game cricket being played in all T20 games and even in one-day matches as well? Or is it just the modern-day approach that the Indians have been operating with since winning the last T20 World Cup in 2024? And especially with this young team that they have there, I do have them as one of the main favorites for the World Cup. Most likely, I have a feeling that they would either defend the title or go deep in the competition. You never know. But I would like for you, the fans, to make the call because we're seeing too much flat wickets or highway pitches for T20s, and bowlers themselves are being killed off from the format. I just don't know. But overall, this New Zealand team that went to India was under strength because most of the players was just coming from Big Bash and was unavailable for like the first 2-3 games, and it literally set the team back. But that does not mean that the New Zealand does, or should I say the Black Caps are out of the running just yet. But let me just say this up front. I have the Black Caps in 2 sectors. 1, dark horses for the World Cup, and 2, one of the favorites. But now that they have some of their T20 star players back in the side, they're a side that can go deep, unlike the last World Cup, which they were eliminated in the first round. But talking about New Zealand, though, in the recent ODI series they played in India, they beat them for the first time 2 matches to 1 on Indian soil when they had lost the first game, but somehow managed to bounce back and win the last 2 games to clinch the series. And they did it with a second string team because most of its players were either involved in franchise cricket or playing cricket elsewhere. But this New Zealand team, you just cannot write them off. Never. But I would like for you guys to make the call. So my first question tonight for you all is, are we seeing too much video game cricket being played in all T20 cricket? Or is it just the modern day approach that the home team or any international side are operating with, especially with all these modern approaches? I know some of the teams are still operating in the old time approach, but honestly, if you look at it now, this Indian side that played recently in against New Zealand and South Africa at home, they are likely to go deep in the campaign, and most likely, I have a gut feeling that they might go back to back. You never know, but you cannot rule out Australia, England, or even South Africa or New Zealand because those sides can give you all a run for your money. We saw what England did recently in Sri Lanka, where they swept them 3-0 when their backs were against the wall. Just like with the last T20, England played against Sri Lanka earlier today, where they defended 129. Yes, 129 on what was a very difficult wicket. And the last time when they were complaining was in that first game, which I will not talk about, which is in the past now. So my first question is right there. So let's get on with the next topic, folks, because we have a lot to pack and unrave. So we were just talking about New Zealand cricket a little while ago. I wanted to jump across down under to the Super Smash, which concluded just over the weekend gone, as the Northern Brave secured its fifth Super Smash title with a comfortable 5-wicket victory with less than 2 overs to spare in the final against Canterbury. Now, Canterbury struggled to get going. However, they did post a modest 171 for the loss of 5 wickets. They did have starts, but the Braves bowling unit, led by the ever dangerous Scott Giles, his name is very difficult to pronounce, so be mindful, folks. Some of the names that I'm trying to pronounce are hard for me to pronounce, so just be very mindful. So this guy who actually has been around the T20 circuit for some years now, Scott Giles, who finished as the tournament's top wicket taker with 17 wickets, he kept the lid on the Canterbury batters with brilliant bowling figures on the day. And in response, the Northern Brave did chase down the target with 5 wickets and 13 deliveries to spare, finishing on 173 for 5 in 17.5 overs. Brent Hampton was the star of the show for the Brave, smashing 55 of just 26 deliveries, which included 5 maximums. When Hammer is in that mode, you just stand back and watch the ball disappear to all parts of the ground. Now, during the Super Smash recently, I did have the pleasure of watching some of the games, whether it's live on television or pre-recorded or as in highlights, and I was in all but honest. If I be honest with you guys, I did manage to watch some of the games, and let's be real, the Northern Brave was simply too good through the competition, and they truly were the well-deserved winners on the night. As for the women's competition, the Wellington Blaze defended their title against the Auckland Hearts to claim its 10th Women's Super Smash title following a dramatic anticlimax ending to the tournament. Now, the Blaze, who batted first, posted 149 for 5. Sorry, guys. They did post 149 for 5, which is a solid but gettable total, with Georgia Plimer being who has been the rock all season for the Blaze. She anchored the innings again when it mattered, but when it came down to the final over, the Blaze championship pedigree did shone through as they did restrict the Auckland Hearts to 146 for the loss of 5, winning by just 3 runs in an absolute thriller. Zara Jetley and Jess Kerr, the sister of Amelia Kerr, was the pick of the bowlers for the Blaze. Jetley finished as the top wicket taker with 14 wickets, providing why she's one of the most exciting spinners currently in New Zealand women's cricket. And you know what is mind-boggling? She's been performing well consistently on the domestic scene, but has not been able to get a call up to the New Zealand women's side for international matches just yet. She's currently 24, and I know for a fact her time is going to come. She just needs to keep on performing consistently, and once she continues to perform consistently, the selectors definitely are going to have an eye on her for the future. But this current New Zealand side, if I be honest with you, they did win the last women's T20 title in 24. If she gets a call up before the World Cup, I'll be so pleased for her because I've been watching her around the T20 circuit for quite some time down under in New Zealand. And even recently when Canada had its T10, she did perform outstandingly well. But I want to also touch, so we're moving away from New Zealand now to right here in the Caribbean because we really need to touch on the recently concluded Women's Super 50 because what happened in St. Vincent and the Grenadines this past week was, in my opinion, a hot mess. And let me explain why. This year's Super 50 competition only had 3 rounds without any knockout matches or finals, similar to the recently concluded Women's T20 Blast, which had 5 rounds, no knockouts, and no finals. And if I be real with you, I do feel sorry and sympathize with the Windward Islands women's team because coming into the last round of the competition, they were at the top of the table and most likely on the way of winning the 50 over competition. And then, bang, out of nowhere, Jamaica, who was second to last on the table, won the competition when, in my opinion, I don't know how to say this, out of nowhere, Jamaica won the Super 50, from being in a second to last position to winning by a massive margin along with bonus points. And I want to jump on the bonus points part because I have a lot to say with regards to all the farcicalness that happened in the Super 50, along with the pushbacks that CWI, aka Cricket West Indies, have done. But I will save that for another time, or even when the West Indies men's team gets knocked out of either the first round or the Super 8s of the T20 World Cup. But I want to say this. You see, this three-round format for this year's Women's Super 50 competition is without a doubt a nonsense move and a farcical one. Where in the world of full member cricket, international or domestic cricket, would you see 3 rounds being enough to determine the best team to win a 50 over competition or a T20 competition? One bad day, one rain affected match, or even one umpiring error, beg your pardon, and your entire season is done and dusted. Well, let me tell you all something. All the 3 things I just mentioned there didn't occur. It's a spirit being sold, and in my opinion, it doesn't give the players enough time to find form or for the team to gel and build a narrative. Last year in 2025, when the Trinidad and Tobago women's team won the 50 over competition, it was very different then because there was 5 rounds followed by the final, as I just mentioned. And then they say they trimmed it down to just 3 rounds. It's bullshit. It's bullcrap. And here's the other bullshit that I'm seeing here. You see this bonus point system? From way in the beginning, I have not been a fan of the bonus point system, which is supposed to reward dominant play. But in a 3-round format, it's ridiculous, to say the least, to have a bonus point system there. And I do hope that Cricket West Indies does get their brainiacs together and stop fooling around financially so as fooling the Caribbean people with its foolish gimmicks. Congratulations to Jamaica. However, I do feel sorry for the Windward Islands once again. And what can I say? Literally, I do feel sorry. But again, this 3-round format was an absolute disaster. So was the 5-round women's T20 plays, which determined a winner without a knockout game or a finals. And with that said, that's going to wrap it up for this live stream. I hope you all liked it. Remember to please, and I beg you all, to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more cricket content quite like this. And with the T20 World Cup coming up, expect more live streams quite like this. So until we meet again, folks, be good, be cool, stay frosty, love in the house, and take care. Bye-bye for now.